Hey, welcome to Controlling the Fork and Gracefully Balanced with me, Christy Williams. I am here today to again just kind of reiterate what this whole YouTube journey is about. So first of all, it is about being gracefully balanced. That just means that it's so much going on, especially for me, you know, this whole global pandemic, working from home, homeschooling, things with church, being a mom, being a wife, being a granddaughter that's helping take care of my grandmother. It's a whole lot of things that that requires my attention and requires me to be able to juggle. So I am learning, I just turned 40 in March, so I'm learning how to gracefully balance everything that I have going on so that I can be good to myself as well as be effective in the areas that I am doing things in, that I'm called to be, if you will. I'm gonna put this disclaimer out here. I do believe in Jesus Christ, so therefore you're gonna hear me refer to a lot of spiritual aspects. And I know this may not be your particular testimony, or you may not be connected spiritually. If you're not, I would admonish you to do that. It's very easy to do, and I'd be glad to walk you through it, to talk to you more about spiritual aspects. So just hit me up in the comment section or whatever, and we can have a further conversation about it. But you will hear me refer back to that grounding, to that foundation place, because I can attest that I can't do it by myself. I have to have wisdom and guidance from something that's bigger than myself in order to keep me grounded and keep me moving forward, if you will. So the first place I start is from a spiritual perspective. So I wanted to read to you from out of 1 Timothy. I'm going to actually read today from Proverbs, and it's from Proverbs, the 25th chapter and the 28th verse. And it's talking about self-control. Okay. So self-control is what's going to help us to be able to balance gracefully, and also to be able to control the fork. Mostly important. It's kind of what we're talking about. The main portion of this YouTube journey is controlling the fork. But having self-control is going to help you to be able to control the fork. So again, reading from Proverbs 25 and verse number 28. And I'm going to read both from the Amplified version and from the Message version. The Amplified version says, like a city that is broken down and without walls, leaving it unprotected, is a man who has no self-control over his spirit, and he sets himself up for trouble. The Message version of it says, a person without self-control is like a house with its doors and windows knocked out. Meaning you're left unprotected, you're left open, you're left to be set up for the okie doke, if you will. So it's about learning how to have self-control, you know, and God has given me that. He's given me the ability and the wisdom to be able to obtain self-control. So I am just learning how to tap into that. And we're going to journey together to learn how to tap into it. So if you have other tips and tricks of how you can tap into self-control, then please feel free to share those with me in the comment section. So the second segment of this, first segment is I always want to give you some type of daily affirmation or some type of knowledge or wisdom from the Word of God, or just some kind of inspiration that I've received. And then I'm going to go into the second portion, which is typically talking about the food journey, which is really, you know, the bulk of this is controlling the fork. So today I wanted to talk about how to make the keto pumpkin pancakes. I mentioned it yesterday on my video, and I wanted to share with you and show you, because I know some people had asked me for the recipe, and I was just throwing together stuff, so I had not written it down. But today I decided to be intentional about writing it down. So I'm going to drop the recipe in the comment section below, but I wanted to share it with you. So the first ingredient is Shakeology. If you are familiar with the Beachbody program, this is their claim to fame. Okay, so I do use this as my protein powder, but if you do not have Beachbody or Shakeology, you can use any type of protein powder. I would probably tend to stick with the vanilla base, because then, you know, or chocolate base if you want like chocolate pumpkin pancake, but vanilla base, you can kind of play around with the flavors. Also, you're going to use baking powder. Okay, just regular good old baking powder. I'm going to use pumpkin pie spice. I'm also going to use allspice, and I'm gonna use some cinnamon. So those are going to be my dry ingredients that I've already poured into my bowl. And then my wet ingredients is I'm going to use almond milk, reduced sugar. I would say, you know, no sugar, if potentially, because if you're trying to control your macros or your amount of carbohydrates that you're intaking, be careful about reading the label of the of what's the nutrients that's on the back. Also, I use egg whites, and again, I will put all of the measurements in the comment section, so be sure to read through that. Just wanted to give you the ingredient list. And also, I use liquid stevia. Okay, so I mix all those things in a bowl, and the consistency should kind of look like pancake mix. Okay, so once I have all that in there, and you can adjust. You can definitely adjust to your liking. If you want it to be more liquid, just add more liquid, add more water or more milk. I chose to add more water because I didn't want to add any more calories to it. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually just put it into a pan. I'm gonna fry it with some butter, some Keurig butter. And then, you know, I'm just gonna flip them, and then I'm going to smear it with some peanut butter at the end for some added fat. So I will come back and show you what it looks like. All right, I'm back and they're already made. So you can see my pancakes got that crispy edge on it. I'm just gonna take my melted peanut butter, and I'm just gonna kind of drizzle it on the top and just make it look pretty. My sister-in-law says their grandmother always said, make your food look pretty, and it makes it better. So anyway, I've drizzled it all over the peanut butter. You see some clumps of peanut butter. I try my best, but anyway, getting ready to eat these bad boys, and then I will be logging into work. So I wish you a gracefully balanced day, and I want to remind you that you do have the power to control your fork. Let's do it together. Have a